Hey everybody, it's Heather with Midnight Serenity, and I got a couple of requests to do a sunflower, and how do I get the petals lined up? So what I've done already is I have already cut out the pumpkin vinyl, and this one I know what the top is because of the design and the shape. I can tell that the pumpkin is up here, so this is the top right here. Normally I would leave that section on so that I know. And this one here, this is going to be the little petals. How I cut it, this is the top petal right here because I put this on my edge, and I don't know if you can tell in there, but this is the top petal right there. So I'm going to take my marker and I'm just going to put a black dot right there. Now next what I'm going to do, usually I will leave one side on here, but I need to be able to see through this blank so that I can better see what I'm doing. So I'm going to go ahead and take off the brown on both sides, and then when I go to do the glitter, I will just put some contact paper on the other side so that it doesn't run over. Let me turn this ringer off because they is blowing up my phone. All right, so let's go ahead and take the ringer. I told you guys this is raw video. I don't know how to edit, so whatever you hear is what you're gonna hear and what you're gonna get. I'm gonna talk to you just as if I was on a live video, so I hope you don't mind that. It does sometimes make my videos a little long. All right, so I'm gonna go ahead and cut this out. So now I have just that part of it. And I wanna cut it so that I'm gonna take my, you can get these wonderful mats at Dollar Tree and Lim for $1.25. All right, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm gonna cut this through here without cutting the leaf, or the petal, I guess it's called. And we're gonna go all the way across, sorta, kinda, the best that we can. I wanna leave this part on when I weed it, so that way I'll be able to line it up better. So I'm gonna go ahead and take my weeding pen, and we're going to weed this vinyl. So you probably can't see, I'm pulling it very slow. Holographic vinyl sometimes is a little bit more stubborn to weed, so you just have to hold down the petals. Maybe I can turn it this way, hold on, so you can see a little better. So you just have to kind of take your weeding tool and hold down the petals as you're pulling it up, okay? And then if you get to a point that you're like, all right, I can't like balance this anymore, you can always trim it. Take a pair of scissors. Sometimes little scissors are better. This is what I have. So, and then you're gonna just cut all the way across without cutting your petals. Okay, this is obviously garbage. Put that my little garbage up there. And then I'm gonna continue weeding these petals. All right, and we're only going to where this cut line is, right there. So I'm gonna go ahead and continue weeding these. Again, just leaving that line up there. Hold on. 1 second, I'm gonna keep going, and I will be right back once this is all weeded. All right, so we got it all weeded, and I just wanted to do that, trying to make my videos a little bit shorter. All right, so we have the top of this one, and we know the top of this one. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and put my transfer tape on so that I'm ready. We'll do this one first. All right, and I'm gonna take my sunflower and I'm gonna just line it up to see, and I'm going to show you. Okay, so here you can see where this petal lines up, but these ones clearly do not. So we're just gonna keep turning it until all of the petals line up, and then we will know which way is the top. And I'm just gonna keep going slowly until I hit the right area. Now, obviously it can be a little time consuming, but if you want them perfectly aligned, this is how you need to do it. And you will see that once this is done, whoops, I had to move my thing over a little bit. Seeing down here, we're like way off, so I'm just gonna keep going, and eventually these should line up. All Not quite yet. I should have put like where I started. Sometimes I do, but you can put where you started at so that you know when you've been all the way around, and then you need to like recheck yourself. And we also are going to have to flip it over. So let me actually, I'm going to do this because I should be able to wipe that off with alcohol. So that's where we started at the top, because there's two sides, so it might be the other side. I'm just continuing to go all the way around till I can figure out which way this goes. And you almost have to skip two because some of the petals are the little ones. So let's see here. We're almost to the end, so we might have to flip it over unless we can get this lined up. And like I said, it can be a little bit of a daunting task. However, all right, so we're back to where we began. All right, so I'm going to flip this over because it's not that side. So I'm going to look at the petals on this side now. And I've got it lined up there, nothing there. So we're going to just keep turning until we can see where this bad boy lines up. I'm sure there's an easier way, you guys, but this is just how I do it. I am very patient, and I just keep going until we're lined up here. Nope, not quite yet. Not quite yet. I think we're getting closer though. I'm gonna say this next turn might be where we're at. All right, there's our top right there. And I'm gonna show you how this is, and I can wipe that off with alcohol. So, like I said, it took a minute, but now you can see, I just moved it, but there we go. And you can see how the petals are all exactly lined up where they needed to be. Okay, so that's our top, and that's nothing. So it's on this side right there. So what I'm going to do is I need to flip this over. I need to put an X here because that's going to be the top, and I need to glitter it right now. And I'm going to get rid of the dot down there, because on the badge reels, I always do the glitter first. Okay, so that's the mark on the back so that I know where the top is after I get the glitter done. And then that being said, this should line up perfectly. I'm going to try to lift this up so you can see it without messing it up. There we go. Hold on. Let me get it lined up again. All right, and there's the petals, little petals lined up perfectly. Now I need to go get a glitter, and I will be right. All right, so I got us a glitter, and we are going to start by glittering the front. Now, as I mentioned, I'm going to put a piece of transfer tape on the back of this because I don't want the glitter stuff to run over. So this will be like the paper that was on the back to protect it. So we've got it protected. I'm going to trim these sides, and there we have it. All right. Next, I'm going to use Resin Rockers UV Resin Hard Type, and I'm using Sunflower Glitter from Bird's Nest Design. I'm going to take my little cup, and you only need about 5 cc's. You don't need much at all. And when you mix in your glitter, you also don't need much. Too much glitter will cause it not to cure properly, and it will be a mess. Basically, you'll have, the things falling off. It may be a little opaque, but you would rather have it a little opaque than having it fall off. So when you mix this, you want it to be kind of like the consistency of cake batter. So just like that, you want it to be a little bit runny and easy to work with. So I'm just going to lay the stir stick aside. Because this is so small, we're going to use our silicone tip brush, and the one that I'm going to choose, hopefully I can find it in here. Let's see, well, we can use this end of it, I guess. I don't know where that brush is. I just had it earlier and it has since disappeared. Not surprising if you saw my craft desk. Okay, so we use this one. We have the little tip on the end. We're all good. All right, so we're going to start with the center, and I always start in the center of my design and I work my way out to the edges very carefully. If I need to mix up more of this, we can certainly mix up more. So I've got the glitter on there, and I'm just going to carefully work it to the edges. Remember, most of this is going to be covered in vinyl, other than the center, which will be this color that hopefully will kind of bring out the other colors in the design. And we're just going to continue. Now right now, as you can tell, I am not wearing any gloves, and the reason is because I'm not actually touching the UV resin. If I were to touch it or think I would be touching it, I would definitely have on some gloves. I will be pausing the video once I get this under the lamp so that I can put my PPE on before I turn on the lamp, which is a respirator mask. And you definitely want to do that anytime you're working with any type of resin, because it does, especially the UV resin, will put off gases as it's curing. So you don't want to be inhaling that and ruining your lungs. So again, personal preference, do your research on that. But I will be putting on my respirator and I'll show you what that looks like. I just don't wear it like right now because it does make it difficult to talk. You guys don't hear me well. So all right, there we have it. And then I'm going to take a torch lighter, which I have right here, and I'm just going to hit it just a couple of quick times to get rid of any of those air bubbles. Here is my respirator that I will be putting on. I look like I'm going into the chamber, and then I have the Melody Susie UV lamp that I'm going to put the light on. So let me put on my respirator. As you can tell, it does muffle my voice a bit, but we got to be sure that we are protected. So there's my mask. All right, and we're going to go ahead. I'm going to put this under there as well because I'll show you how to recycle those. So we have this lamp set at 120 seconds, so 2 minutes, and I will be back once that is cured. All right, guys, so now this is cured, and it is quite opaque, but that's okay, or transparent. We cured our little tool here, so what I do is I take my X-Acto knife backwards, and I just kind of push it away until I can get that resin off of there, because eventually once you get underneath it, it will come off fairly easy. There we go. Popped it off there. Throw that away, clear off this side, and I do it that way so that the knife doesn't, I mean, you can see it's kind of chewed it up a little bit. And then let's recycle our little plastic cups. So if you have the ones that are squeezable a little bit, after you cure that, you can just pop that resin out. You have a clean cup, throw that away, and put that back on your stack. All right, so now we have our blank. And remember, up here is our top point. Well, then I gotta take my mask off because I'll put it back on when I'm ready to cure. It's itching me. All right, and my glasses. Told you, raw video. All right, so we're going to go ahead and let's start with the little ones. We know that this is the top. So I'm just gonna keep that on the top so that I don't lose where we're at. All right, and that is garbage. We're still right here. And I'm gonna get me a piece of transfer tape. I always stick it on the, like the pole of my light. All right, we're gonna take our burnisher, just go over that real quick. All right, so it's garbage, and here we go. All right, and it is perfectly, there we go. Sometimes you gotta just move it over just a hair, but that's okay. Because some of these are just a little off, and I think it's just how I placed it that made it a little awkward. So we're just gonna go ahead and put these last two on. All right, this is gonna be really pretty. And now we know that this is the top of our pumpkin. And we are going to go ahead and, again, we're gonna line it up. And sometimes you just have to do it a couple at a time, but it still will line up pretty perfectly instead of laying them down all at once. But you still should have a perfect sunflower when you're all done. All right, there we go. How pretty is that? Love it, love it, love it. I kind of like just that transparent look. All right, so now I'm gonna go ahead and put my top coat on. And again, I'm gonna just start in the center. And this I just squeeze directly from the bottle. And I'm going to use that same blue silicone pen. It's not a pen, it's a tool, whatever. And move this out of the way. And I'm just going to go from the center out to the edges. And you're just slowly pulling it out to the edges and kind of painting it on there. And there we go. We're still just pulling it out to the edges until we get it all even. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna look at it from the side and make sure that everything looks even, because with Resin Rockers UV resin, it will self-level. So you just give it a second and it will level itself out. I'm gonna again take that torch and just give it some quick hits so that it gets a few of those bubbles out if there are any, which I didn't really see any. And it looks like I might have to put a little bit more here. Might just need a tad more, just a drop, just to get it out to these edges here, because I missed a couple of the little gold leaves. And that's why I look at it from the edge so that I can make sure I have everything covered. All right. If you get run over, I will show you how to get that off also. All right, there we have it. And I'm gonna go ahead and put my mask on and get this under the UV lamp, and then I'll be back. All right, sorry for the long video again, but I have this dry. Our little tip is cleared off. Sorry, they're watching TV in the other room. All right, so now look at how pretty that is. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and peel the back off. And because I'm famous for run over, I always have some. But first I'm going to go ahead and remove that black dot that was keeping the tap. Just wipe it off with some alcohol, and now it's gone. I'm going to take these needle nose jewelry pliers, and wherever you see run over in here, I don't know if you can see, like there's some right here. You can see where it ran over, you know, in between. And we're going to take this, and you're gonna take it and push down. You don't wanna pull up, because if you pull up, you risk breaking the acrylic and also the seal on the resin. So we're just gonna go all the way down, squeeze and push down, pull down, however you wanna look at it, so that you're just popping that off. Sometimes you can squeeze them like that and they'll come off. Sometimes you just gotta work it and pop it down. And we're gonna do this all the way around. And again, I'm famous for run over, and it's because I just put too much on. So if you don't put as much on, then you don't have run over. All right, and one more. There you have it. So now, where was the top? Right here was the top. Man, that's gorgeous. That's really pretty. That's gorgeous for fall. All right, and I'm gonna show you how to bead the badge reel. So what you're going to do is you're going to take your pliers and you're just gonna pry that V open so that your badge reel comes off. You're then going to take your string and you're gonna roll it around your clip, because you don't want that to go back in or else it's garbage. All right. And then you're gonna push this through and cut that off. There we go. And then you're gonna take a torch lighter and you're just going to do this. Okay. And then we're gonna put this back through our beads. And I picked out some fall looking beads. So we have this one that's kind of brownish orange. And I always put a sparkly rondelle, they're 10 millimeter, on there. And then next I have picked out this beautiful bead that says hope. And that's gonna go on there. And then next, we're going to put this through here. So we're putting that stopper back on and we're going to tie it. And once we tie that, like that, now it's secured and we're good there. All right, so now we're going to put the letter V, as I call it, back on here. So there we go. Oops. And I have to find my pliers, because here they are. You want pliers that have the little grippy teeth in there, and hopefully these are the right ones. I had a feeling that wasn't it. Hold on, I gotta find the right pliers. All right, so I got my good pliers. So what you're going to do is you're going to go ahead and you're going to put the letter V back on the stopper. And you want pliers that have the little teeth in them so that you can hold on to your letter V. And this is kind of how I hold on to it with my, so I have a little grip there. And then you're going to put that back into, whoops, sometimes I struggle, unedited live work here. All right, let's try this again. Round two, take two, ding, 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 ding. I wish my daughter can do these without taking the V thing off. I personally cannot. So let's try this again. There we go. Got it that time. All right. And so there we have it. And we are going to go ahead and undo this. And one thing I like to do is make sure that it's good. So it goes in and out, all is well. All right, and then we're going to take 3M Dual Lock Velcro, and I usually count about 4 lines, and then I snap them together. I'm gonna take off one side of the tape and put it on here, and then I'll just go ahead and add the badge onto there. So that's garbage. These are pretty sticky, so I try not to touch my fingers. There we go. And there's that. Just like that. And now I'm just going to try to line this up because we want to find where those pumpkins were again. So there's our top. We're going to line that up on our badge. I try not to touch it because your resin does release some gases for a little bit after you cure it. And there you have a beautiful sunflower. So I hope this helps. I hope this inspires you, and watch for more videos. Thanks for hanging out with me, guys. Heather with Midnight Serenity. Bye.